Have you ever wondered how you could be making 6 or 7 figures in your business, yet you feel like you never have enough money? Does the mere idea of tackling your business finances make you break out in an anxious sweat? My latest offering, the CFO Money Method Program, is designed to take your attention off the sales numbers and see what's going on inside of your business. This program has helped many business owners get out of debt, manage their finances, and make tons of money in their business. My friend Cindy found that creating a plan for her business and monitoring her progress against that plan every month helped her shape her business into a money-making machine, and she let go of the anxiety around managing her money just by following this 4-step framework. This program will be open for registration this month, January 2021, for a limited time. If this sounds like a program that you want to learn more about, head on over to my website at melissahoustoncpa.com and sign up for a free discovery call to find out if this offer is the right fit for you. That's melissahoustoncpa.com, and I'll see you there. Oh my goodness, this is the first episode of the new year of 2021, and I hope that 2021 is going to be a great year for you. Lord knows 2020 was quite an interesting year, and I believe that it's all going to go uphill from here. It has to. It can't, it could get worse. So I'm not going to say it can't get worse, but it's certainly going to get better. I just know it. So I want to kick off 2021 on the Think Like a CFO podcast today with a solo episode and talk to you about the myths around women and entrepreneurism. I was listening to this fabulous podcast called The CEO School, where the host was speaking about the statistics of women entrepreneurs who break through that $1 million revenue mark. Much to my surprise, they say that it's only 2% of female entrepreneurs who ever break into the $1 million range. In my opinion, that statistic is far too low, and this needs to be talked about and changed. That statistic really hit a nerve with me, and I really think we need to have a talk about this. But before we dive into this episode, I do want to acknowledge that there is a big difference in running a 7-figure business as opposed to a 6-figure business. The larger your business is, the greater the responsibility and the greater demands on your time. So if you are a business owner who is not at all interested in reaching that 7-figure mark, that is totally okay. Not that you're looking for my permission or anything, but I just don't want you to get the impression that this episode is strictly about, women have to make that 7-figure number, because that's totally not true. It's totally a lifestyle choice. And maybe that's why only 2% of women actually break through to that $1 million mark, because most women that I know are focused on raising children, having a family, they have a spouse, they may have elderly parents to care for, they may have other people in their lives to care for, or they just might not be interested in that kind of constraint on their time. So I'm just putting out a disclaimer there. Hey, what works for you is going to work for you, and don't change that. But I do really feel the need to address this, because I am definitely one of those people that want to get to that 7-figure mark. And I just wanted to explore the topic a little bit more. Okay, unfortunately, there are conscious and subconscious thoughts that may be holding you back. Regardless of whether you even want to hit that 7-figure mark, you can even experience these thoughts just trying to get to that 6-figure mark. So wherever you are in your business right now, you will find value in this episode, because you may be able to identify to the issues that I'm going to be talking about, because they affect us no matter what stage we are in our business. We go through this whole journey of self-awareness, I think. I mean, I've certainly gotten to know myself a lot better since I started my business. Actually, oh my goodness, it's 1 year today. So I hadn't even thought about that. So being in business for a year, I certainly have done my own journey of self-improvement and self-awareness, and really stepped out of that comfort zone. Oh my goodness. That is a huge thing. I don't think I've been in a comfort zone since I started my business. I'm always pushing to make this business a success, and I'm just constantly challenging myself, and it's been uncomfortable, but it's been very rewarding as well. If you are a business owner who's not interested in reaching that 7-figure mark, that's totally okay, provided it is a well thought out choice And it is your decision, not a limiting belief that you may be carrying. Because sadly, there are conscious and subconscious thoughts that can hold you back. And you also may have had or still have people in your life telling you that it's not possible, but it is possible. I believe that every woman should be earning the same or more as the top earning men in their field of work, if that is what they choose to work towards. I want to support you with that. I also believe that every woman should be in charge and managing their own finances, and that is where I come in to help you. If you are scaling and growing your business, it is especially important to be involved in your finances. I'm also fierce about supporting other women reaching their goals. The only person I'm competing with is myself, and I'm more interested in building a strong network of smart, ambitious women than anything else. And support. Oh, I love supporting other women, and I like to be supported as well. There's a certain level of reciprocation that should be involved in relationships. No one person can achieve success on their own. It takes the help of others. So ask for that help and appreciate it when someone helps you. But be careful not to overgive to people who never return the favor. Personally, I'm guilty of overgiving, and I have definitely started to learn how to say no and recognize when people just want to take me for granted. So I really believe in building those strong relationships with other women and men too, to help each other achieve their goals. And there's enough room for everybody at the top. So helping other people will definitely pay off in the long run too. So now more than ever, I believe that women will be starting their own businesses. A stat that was released in November of 2020 stated that 850,000 American women chose to leave the workforce. Now, that stat doesn't clearly state how that decision was made, whether it was by choice or by layoff or both. But let's address that inequality, because that stat is 4 times higher than the average male who left the workforce by choice. As women, we carry more of the responsibilities at home with the children, and likely the woman who had left employment made that decision because it was basically a smarter decision, because chances are they were likely the lower income earner in the household. But women are also faced with limited career advancements in the workplace. And we are also tired of others deciding when we are ready for promotions, so we decide to promote ourselves. If you are a woman who is feeling that constriction right now, know that you are not alone. I pulled out in my research some interesting statistics. A couple of things I wanted to share with you, because one thing that really stuck out to me is the pandemic hit women a lot harder than hit men. So if you recall, the Great Recession of 2007 to 2009 was called a man-cession, which I didn't even know this until I read it, because the hardest hit sectors were traditionally male. So it was in construction and manufacturing. However, in 2020, the word she-cession is being applied to this current recession. So this time around, the worst hit industries are those that cannot be done virtually, and they are dominated by women. So these industries are travel, education, health services, and retail. So women have accounted for 55% of job losses so far during this recession. So this stat was taken in November of 2020. Essential workers are most likely to be women. 1 in every 3 jobs held by a woman has been deemed essential. Since the pandemic began, women are being hired less. The share of all new hires has dropped from 47% pre-COVID to 45% post-COVID. Well, if there is even a post-COVID, because we are still in the pandemic. But anyways, that's just what I'm reading. In a survey conducted by Elvest, 92% of women earning less than $50,000 a year have realized through the pandemic that they need to build their own financial safety nets. Yes to this. I love that. Another stat was through this pandemic, women are spending an average of 7 more hours per week than men on childcare and 5 more hours on caring for the sick and elderly. Most women are also spending at least 7 more hours than men on housework. So sadly, the burden is still very much on the women, according to these statistics. Only 18% of employed women say their company has reduced their scope of work or adjusted their priorities to account for the impact of childcare. Less than a third say someone from their company is checking in to see if they're doing okay. That was the last point that I wanted to make. These statistics are pretty grim when you think about it. You know, when you're in the workforce, and I don't know exactly, but I would think that 50% or more of women make up the workforce at this point. And if they're not recognizing that women are usually the primary child caregivers, and they're not trying to accommodate them, it makes for difficult working conditions. So it seems pretty clear to me that there's a long way to go for women in the workforce to be supported. And it's no surprise to me that women would be looking elsewhere to better their careers and their lives. But I think we know actually going into business for yourself is definitely easier said than done. So let's sort of explore a little further into why a woman may decide to go into business for herself. One might be it could offer a more flexible schedule. It could also advance her career at her own pace. So what happens is, you know, when you're ready for promotion and you're waiting for somebody to actually recognize that you're ready for promotion, quite often those two don't meet. And I have heard more stories than not of women who've been passed up promotions because they're mothers or they're deemed as not as committed as a man or whatever the case may be. And it's still really unfair out there. So to go into business for yourself offers you more control over your career. And a lot of women also go into business for themselves to make more money. And I like that. Being an entrepreneur is an exciting yet demanding career choice. And for most, it seems easy enough to know that you need to generate money in order for your business to survive. But it's not always that easy for many, okay? So many entrepreneurs jump into business without considering their mind-limiting beliefs. So these are a couple of tips. If you are interested in going out into business for yourself or you're thinking about it, I want you to consider the following tips that I've put together too, because being an entrepreneur really challenges you in your mindset issues. There's money mindset and then there's general mindset issues. So a couple of the money mindset issues that I wanted to talk about was quite often what I see is when women are going into business for themselves or are in business, they're undercharging for their services. So 1, I can't charge that much or I'm not worth that much. My argument to this is if your male counterpart in the same field and with the same experience and yada yada is basically charging more than you, then you are not charging enough. So many entrepreneurs, and especially women, feel a deep sense of guilt for charging for their products and services. They may believe they aren't worthy of charging a certain price. They might be afraid that they won't live up to expectations, or they might have a deeply seated sense of guilt accepting money from other people. So this leads to undercharging for their services, not raising prices when they should, overworking, and even becoming angry or resentful with their clients and customers. This mindset usually keeps entrepreneurs stuck and creates an income ceiling that they may not even be aware of. So if you're not mindful of this type of mindset block, you need to be, because if you're escaping the traditional workforce for a better life, then you need to be recognizing that you may be holding yourself back unconsciously. So pay attention to what you're charging and make sure that you're charging fair and reasonable rates, but that they're equivalent to your male counterpart as well. There's no reason why you shouldn't be making just as much as your male counterpart. Another thing is quite often women believe that making money should be hard. A common limiting belief in the business and entrepreneurship world is that making money shouldn't come easy and that in order to make a decent salary, we need to work harder. And if we want to double or triple our profit, we need to double or triple the amount of work. This can lead to entrepreneurs feeling incredibly guilty if they start making more money, or they may block the money altogether. They may become overworked, burnt out, overburdened, and focus on all the unimportant, time-consuming tasks while ignoring the important income-generating activities in their business. So this is super important too, because you need to learn how to outsource and delegate what other people can do, charging less money than you do per hour, and you need to focus on your income-generating abilities. And a third common money block is people think that if you have more money, you have more problems. So you may not realize how much you are afraid of success with this one. Of course, different levels of profit and success in business bring a new set of challenges to overcome. But the problem is when entrepreneurs start missing opportunities for growth and use this as an excuse to stay stuck. Entrepreneurs may inadvertently help themselves stay stuck at a certain level of income to avoid having the additional burdens of being successful. They also may be afraid of making more money than their friends, their spouse, or their parents, or anybody that they care about, which would lead to feelings of loneliness, pressure, and isolation. Ultimately, entrepreneurs with this limiting belief will struggle to grow their business and stay stuck at a certain income level. And so often I hear this story too, because women especially, they do not want to make more than their dads or their spouses. And that is just redonkulous, is what I would say. It's ridiculous. I mean, if you have the ability to generate more income, then you should deal with the mindset blocks that hold you back from generating that income. Because, reaching for the possibilities, grabbing what opportunities are out there for you, to me is like, I don't know, it's like the brass ring. If I had the opportunity to make more money, I'd just grab it and go with it. So if you identify with any of these money mindset blocks or ones that haven't been mentioned, I'm encouraging you to explore them so that you can resolve them and start making the most money you can make in your business. Business ownership doesn't need to be that hard. And mind blocks, when you start working through them, they're quite easy to get through. The key is recognizing that they exist. And if you're looking for somebody who can help you work through them, please reach out to me. I have not a ton. I've got a couple of really good coaches that I've worked with in the past that have really made breakthroughs for me in very little time. So it is worth the investment. So because more women are starting businesses, they still face challenges in operating their businesses. The number of women entrepreneurs is definitely on the rise, and that makes me so happy because I believe that women are the future. So regardless of the positive outcomes, women are still struggling to survive in the business environment given the challenges that they face. So it is not all rosy. I'm not suggesting that becoming an entrepreneur as a woman is like super easy and it just gets rid of all your problems that you're facing in the workplace. That's not true. You're just going to have different kinds of problems. But it also, if you're anything like me, it makes you feel good because you're doing everything that you're doing for yourself. You're invested in yourself and your business. Your business is your baby. And you're just growing it and nurturing it and making it successful. And it feels good to have that accomplishment with nobody telling you what to do or having any sort of control over you. Like you're basically in control of the situation. However, we will review some major challenges that women face in business. And one of them is, unfortunately, limited funding. And this one ticks me off like you wouldn't believe. Not all business people are fortunate enough to have an investor in their business or have, a ton of money that they can throw at their business right at the beginning. Some have to bootstrap a lot or rely on credit cards or raise money on their own. Women businesses are among the leading ventures that lack financial support in the banking industry. It is also common for women to be denied loans because of their gender and their cultural biases. So many institutions tend to fund male-owned businesses over women. Number 2 would be balancing responsibilities. So a large number of women are not just entrepreneurs or career people. We have families, we have spouses, we have parents, aging parents, we have a ton of responsibilities. Demands from personal and professional commitments can pressure a woman to abandon either her business or her family. The family expects her to be a mother and a wife, while the business requires her to be the leader and show commitment. It becomes more difficult for those who lack social support because they have to carry the entire burden by themselves. Some women can balance these two spheres of their lives, while others are overwhelmed. And you know what? I find this is a huge, huge point because, I'm super grateful for my husband. He's definitely picked up the slack since I've gone into business for myself because I have been super busy and super focused on my business. Now, my children are 17 and 18, so they don't need me as much, but they do complain that I'm not there for them whenever they do need me. And, I do feel a little guilt about that. And my husband's definitely working a lot harder. He makes dinners and cleans the house and stuff like that. And I totally appreciate the support. So I'm definitely one of the lucky ones. I recognize that. So if you're struggling, I just want you to know it's okay. If you can afford to hire somebody to clean your house, do it. If you can afford to have your meals cooked, or, those great dinner boxes that get delivered to your door and you don't have to deal with the groceries or this or that, or you can even order your groceries online. Get the help that you need so that you can ensure you're setting yourself up for success in your business. There is nothing wrong with outsourcing things. We as women, we do not need to do everything. And if you are trying to do everything on your own, it's going to burn you out. So be extra cautious of this, please. Third is a fear of failure. Entrepreneurship is risky and it entails unforeseen circumstances. But never fear failure. You will never try if you fear. No one goes into business with a guarantee of success. Fear of the known and the unknown is a major issue for women. They dread failing, especially if the people surrounding them were skeptical on their ability to launch their business. This fear is toxic and unhealthy. I can totally relate to this because I remember before I went into business, seriously went into business, I was horrified. I was terrified. I was so scared to step out of my comfort zone. But, with coaching, I managed to make that step. And I did notice the more I stepped out of my comfort zone, the less I feared. Now I'm just kind of like, okay, I'll try anything. And if it doesn't work, well, it's not a personal failure. It just didn't work. So I really relate with the failure. And if I had known a pandemic was coming in March when I decided to start my business in January, you betcha I would never have started my business. I would have probably been like, oh, okay, let's wait till the pandemic is over. But I'm so grateful that I did start it before the pandemic because, even struggling through the pandemic, and believe me, it's been a struggle. I have learned so much. It's been amazing. And I don't know if I would have learned that much had everything just gone so smoothly. So, there's always a positive lesson you can take away from something that you really didn't want to happen, or you would look at as an experience that would be less than favorable. Now I'm like, a pandemic, schmandemic. It doesn't matter. Nothing is certain in life. So whether I'm starting a business in a roaring economy or a pandemic, I'm still doing my best. I'm still getting rewards and things are going well. So that's what I can say about that. Going back to balancing responsibilities, you need to have a good support system. So what women achieve with a support system is fantastic. Struggling or failing in a business could be the result of a lack of a good support system. In business, nobody can do things alone, and women tend to face the greatest challenges in getting support, from lacking the relevant connections to needing financial access or emotional support. They also need mentors and sponsors to guide them in this new path. The support system is often expensive, forcing women to delay starting their business. A way to kind of circumvent the expenses too is to join group programs and stuff. Everybody talks about having a business coach, and business coaches are fantastic, but there's a lot of great stuff you can get in group programs as well. You can create, I've been in business for a year and I have created a ton of women that I can lean on when I need support. And I just find that probably one of the best things about starting the business is having a group of women entrepreneurs that, they know the challenges, they know what you're going through. If you have questions, you can ask them. They're there to support you when you're feeling down, and vice versa. I'm there to support others. I want to give my best too. So having a good network of people is essential. So if you are in these group programs, make a point of making friends and staying in contact with them outside of the programs. It is so beneficial. It's probably one of the best things I've ever done. Okay, so another one is limited knowledge. Empowering a woman with knowledge is just the beginning of a long journey to business success, okay? There is power in knowledge. The best thing you can do when you're starting your business is to learn as much as you can, because there's marketing, there's business finance, there's ad copy, there's Facebook ads, there's offering programs, structuring your programs. There's so much going on when you're starting your business. So, get a clear idea. You don't have to start perfect, and everybody will tell you that too. Start with the imperfect. Just get yourself out there and start making offers. And as time goes on, you're going to polish your offers and maybe expand your offers and whatnot. But the information that you're learning along the way will help you with looking back on what you're offering and seeing if you actually are offering the right product for your market. So there is limited knowledge, but if you take action and learn, then your knowledge base will be unlimited. And that is the best thing you can do for your business. And the final point that I wanted to bring up is being timid, or some people call it a lack of confidence. Women are often shy about touting out their accomplishments. They're afraid of being labeled if they're bragging about, or not even bragging, because that's just right there. It's a negative connotation. It's like if I'm shouting out a win that I've had or success that I've earned in my business, some women are afraid to do that because they don't want to be looked at as being braggy or, annoying or whatever, right? Humility is not shyness or being timid. Women need to stand by their success and let people around them recognize it. This is a big one, and I did struggle with this as well. I'm getting better at it. But, when you want to win, let people know, because if you're the world's best kept secret, nobody's going to know about you, and then they're not going to learn from you. So really, part of the marketing strategy is letting people know that you're there and you can help them. Don't be timid about that. It goes back to stepping out of your comfort zone and just being the best that you can be. When you're offering a service or product or service that is helping somebody resolve a problem that they have, it's only natural to, be a little bit afraid to let them know about it. But you have to get over that fear and just let them know that, in your face, here, I have this. If you choose to use it, great. If you don't choose to use it, well, that's fine too. And if you choose to tell your friends about it, that's even better. So let people know that you're there and don't apologize for it. Owning your success as a woman motivates you to work harder and achieve more in your business. It inspires the people around you. You wouldn't believe how many women you're inspiring by doing this. Oprah Winfrey and Michelle Obama are among those women who have motivated other women to work towards their entrepreneurial dreams. Confidence is an essential part of prosperity and growth. And when a woman leads, others follow. I just love that because, women, the reason I chose this topic today is because, it's all about women empowerment, right? Women are just as capable, if not better than men, at providing products and services. We're really there to listen to our clients and to help them solve their issues. And people want to pay you for your services when you can help them. And if you feel uncomfortable about taking payment, you have to remember this is just part of the cycle. If you go to the grocery store, do you feel angry because you have to pay for your groceries? No, you know the drill. So if you're going to a professional, do you feel angry that you have to pay for their services that they're offering you? No, it's the exchange in life. So if you're holding back, please, I urge you not to. And if you need a coaching session around that, let me know and I'll get you in touch with some really great coaches who can help you with that. So if you've been listening and you're interested in starting your business, or you've been in business for a bit, but you recognize that your business finances might need some attention, I just want you to know that I am here to help you. You definitely need to put managing your finances at the top of your list. I have a friend who recently told me that the advice that she gives to entrepreneurs that are starting out on their journey is to invest in these two top skills at the beginning. One is marketing and the other is finances. And after thinking about what she told me, I really couldn't agree with that more because it's true. And I wish somebody had told me at the beginning that I should pay more attention to my marketing, because I definitely got into the marketing game a little later. And I do regret that because I feel that I wasted some time there. But however, live and learn. So that's my advice to you is invest in your marketing and your finances. Your finances offer the financial foundation for your business, and you are going to make a lot of decisions off your financial reports. So you need to ensure that you understand what you're doing. For managing your business finances, I do offer an introductory course called Biz Financial Basics. So this course outlines what you need to know about managing your business if you're starting out. It's a 3-module course that talks to the beginner about basic financial information, what a bookkeeper does, what your accountant does, if you want to incorporate or you want to operate as self-employed. There's a whole bunch of information in Module 1. And then Module 2 breaks down your financial information for your financial reports. So it goes through the balance sheet, what an asset is, what a liability is, what equity is, and then your income statement and what information you can use to help increase your profits. And then the 3rd module talks about the taxes in your company. So you've got sales tax that you have to submit to government, and you've got corporate taxes to pay, whether you're self-employed or incorporated, you still have taxes to pay. You can't get away from taxes. And payroll taxes if you're paying yourself or you're paying other employees, basically getting you set up with the basics. And then there's 3 bonus trainings that are in there now as I'm speaking. There may be more added because when my clients let me know that, if they have a question and I feel, I should probably add, bonus training in there, I will do it right away, because if one person has that question, then everybody has that question. So that's the introductory course. And there's also a Facebook group community, because I never want you to feel like you're alone in the process. There's going to be others that can help you, and you can, network and meet other entrepreneurs. And I'm always there to answer questions as well. And then the second course I offer is a more advanced course. Like if you already know your basics, you can go right into the CFO money method. And that teaches you how to read your financial reports. It helps you create a budget, and it monitors your progress against your goals, and it helps you manage your cash levels. There are also bonus trainings in that course, as well as the Facebook group community. The special part of the CFO Money Method course is that it is a community where I do monthly Q&A calls with everybody. So I'm there live to answer questions and talk about specific topics if you have any questions around that topic. So I really love it because it helps me get to know people in the course as well. And as the community grows, we will be bringing in expert speakers as well. So there'll be tax professionals coming in and anything that's business related, because you wouldn't believe how much accounting intertwines with all levels of the business. I'm really excited about these courses, and I'm sure you'll be excited too when you learn more about them. So if you are interested in learning more about them, you can find them at www.melissahoustoncpa.com and go into the Work With Me tab, and you will find those courses listed. Thanks for listening to the Think Like a CFO podcast with Melissa Houston CPA. If you've enjoyed this episode, leave us a review. Your ratings and reviews help more people like you find our podcast. Don't forget to hit subscribe and share this episode with someone you think would love it. Until next time, I'm Melissa Houston, and remember, nobody will ever care about your business as much as you do. So never give your financial power away.